making headlines this hour. Introduce initiative.
The World Health Organization and Nation. The organization's commendation came a day after the Parliament passed the necessary legislative amendment moved by the government to implement a generational tobacco ban prohibiting the sale, purchase and use of tobacco products for individuals born on or after 1st January 2007. Individuals born on or after 1st January 2007. The WHO, in a post on its social media platforms, said the land mission approving a generational tobacco ban that marks a pivotal leap forward in tobacco control efforts. The amendment, it ratified by President Dr. Mohamed Muiz, will see the new legislation come into force from 1st November. The amendment, developed in consultation with the Cabinet, targets individuals born from 1st January 2007 onwards, extending the prohibition to future generations. Approximately 30% of the current population falls within this age group, a demographic significance that President Dr. Muiz had highlighted as central to the measure. The rationale for the ban is firmly rooted in public health concerns, with the potential to significantly improve national well-being by preventing a substantial portion of the population from adopting tobacco use, he had said. The legislative amendment, once in effect, would mandate sellers of tobacco products to verify the age of customers through an official identification. Sellers will be penalized for any violations. The government has been taking landmark steps against tobacco use. One of the biggest measures was to increase the duty on imported cigarettes and the nationwide ban on use and sale of vape products. The new amendment would ban the import and use of rolling tobacco machines and related items. It will also give police the authority to confiscate vape products and electronic cigarettes. The Parliament votes to remove 2 Supreme Court justices following findings by the Judicial Service Commission JSC regarding their conduct. The dismissed justices, Dr. Azmiralda Zahir and Mahaz Ali Zahir, were accused of improperly influencing lower court proceedings.
Decision was reached in separate votes during a parliamentary session on Wednesday, with each removal approved by 68 members. The process followed a determination by the JSC, which under the Constitution is authorized to recommend the removal of a judge if it finds the individual incapable of holding office or guilty of misconduct. The Parliament's Judiciary Committee reviewed the JSC's report and found no procedural irregularities in the removal process. Its findings aligned with the JSC's conclusions, affirming that all necessary procedures had been followed in assessing the judge's conduct. Central to the disciplinary action were allegations that the 2 justices had improperly influenced lower court judges in relation to the detention of Dr. Ismail Latif, the husband of Justice Azmiralda. Latif was taken into police custody on the 4th of April 2025. The JSC determined that Justices Azmiralda and Mahaz had exerted influence through criminal court judge Safat Habib on Judge Ibrahim Zihuni, who was presiding over Latif's detention case in the criminal court. The Commission's investigation concluded that the actions of the 2 judges violated the Constitution, the Judicature Act, and the Code of Conduct for Judges. Based on these findings, the JSC recommended that Parliament take action regarding their positions in accordance with judicial disciplinary laws. During parliamentary deliberations, several members voiced support for the Judiciary Committee's findings, asserting that the influence exerted by the justices had been substantiated. Under the Constitution, a judge may only be removed if the decision is passed by a 2/3 majority of members present and voting. The removal of both Justice Azmiralda and Justice Mahaz met this threshold, with each receiving 68 votes in favor.
The government introduces amendments to the Civil Aviation Authority Act seeking to impose a stricter conflict of interest regulations for board members and redefine the framework for civil air transport policy. The proposed revisions presented to Parliament aim to align existing legislation with the forthcoming Civil Aviation Bill, a comprehensive effort to modernize aviation governance.
The Civil Aviation Authority Act establishes and regulates the Maldives Civil Aviation Authority, or CAA, the entity responsible for overseeing civil aviation in the country. The amendments, submitted on behalf of the government by Member of Parliament Muhammad Fazil, who represents Dandu, are designed to strengthen regulatory oversight and enhance enforcement mechanisms in line with contemporary aviation standards. A key provision in the proposed legislation addresses eligibility criteria for CAA board membership. Under current law, individuals are disqualified from serving on the board if they hold more than a 5% share, either personally through an appointed representative or via a company in which they have shares, in an entity providing civil air transport services or operating under aviation regulations. The revised framework eliminates the percentage threshold altogether. Under the new rules, any individual with any interest or shareholding in a legal entity providing civil air transport services or regulated by the CAA would be barred from board membership. The amendments also propose a structural change in policy oversight. Under existing law, the minister is responsible for setting civil air transport policy, with the CAA required to act in accordance with ministerial directives unless instructed otherwise. The new legislation removes these provisions. Beyond governance reforms, the bill also seeks to improve operational efficiency. Under current regulations, if the chief executive submits a matter requiring swift resolution, the board must convene and issue a decision within 5 days. The proposed amendment shortens this time frame to 3 days, allowing for quicker responses to urgent issues. If enacted, the amendments will take effect upon parliamentary approval, ratification, and publication in the Government Gazette.
Government extends the deadline to apply for higher education scholarships under the Zakat Fund both in the Maldives and overseas. While the original deadline for submitting applications was 15th May, the new deadline for applications has been extended until 29th May. The Ministry of Islamic Affairs said the higher education scholarship application form no longer requires the stamp of a Maldives Qualification Authority (MQA). Instead, applicants may submit the form along with MQA's response to their application for recognition of the intended program. Out of the 50 scholarships offered by the Zakat Fund, 20 opportunities have been designated to study within the Maldives, while 30 opportunities are available for study abroad. Opportunities to study abroad are available from Malaysia, Brunei, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and SAARC countries. A total of 17 opportunities are available for Malaysia and Brunei. The Ministry of Islamic Affairs said 13 of the 30 international scholarships are special scholarships for higher education. This includes scholarships from Al-Azhar University in Egypt, Medina University in Saudi Arabia, Qasim University, Al-Qura University, Aba University, and King Abdulaziz University, as well as selected SAARC countries. In addition, one opportunity is open to train as a super specialist in urology, urological surgery, pediatric, neurology, and neurology. The ministry also announced 10 stipend opportunities for students pursuing Sharia, Al-Qada, Tafsir, Hadith, Ulum, Al-Quran, Arabic, Usudin, and Islamic subjects. These stipends are intended to assist with expenses that are not covered by the institutions where they are studying. Minister of Agriculture and Animal Welfare Dr. Maria Maria says that the government is planning to carry out a pilot project in Lam Atoll under the Agricultural Economic Zone initiative, expanding the agricultural sector and reducing reliance on imported agricultural products are among the top priorities of the current administration. To achieve this objective, President Dr. Mohamed Muiz has designated a specific area, the Agricultural Economic Zone, for the cultivation of various crops to enhance food security. The State Trading Organization STO has announced that the Agricultural Economic Zone project to ensure food security in the Maldives, initially planned for Uturutila Faro, has now been relocated to Fushidikar Faro. The Maldives Industrial Development Free Zone Company signed an agreement with China's Harbour Engineering Company Limited early 2024 to establish an agricultural economic zone aimed at ensuring food security for the import-dependent island nation. The project will involve dredging 100 hectares of land to create this zone, with plans for it to begin in early 2026. Responding to questions over the initiative in Parliament on Wednesday, Minister Dr. Maria Maria said the government needs a time for land reclamation to fully implement the project. However, efforts around the initiative are underway, according to the minister, adding that a pilot project of the Agricultural Economic Zone will be carried out in Lam Atoll. The Agricultural Economic Zone plan for Fushidikar will include greenhouses for growing vegetables and fruits, as well as a training center and accommodation blocks. In its second phase, the project will feature a specialized poultry farm to produce chicken eggs for the Maldives. The decision to dredge land was made due to the need for a large area, which is seen as the most efficient way to implement the project. The government launches a new initiative aimed at addressing the social needs and well-being of bedridden senior citizens. The program was officially inaugurated by the Minister of Social and Family Development, Dr. Aishat Shiham. Under this initiative, government teams and volunteers from Maldives Guides Association, as well as volunteers registered at the Senior Citizens Center, Israb Vahinganadi, will visit bedridden elderly individuals in their homes on a monthly basis. The visits are designed to bring joy and comfort for the elderly and identifying the social support required by them and their families. The program will see the involvement of young people. Minister Aishat Shiham stated that the program is one of the social programs conducted by the government on the instruction of President Dr. Mohamed Muiz. She said that the initiative will pave the way for the effective identification of social needs and ensure the provision of social assistance needed for the bedridden and their families. The government has already launched a special program, Halu Kihine, to directly engage with the public. The Minister of Social and Family Development has so far visited more than 12,000 households to assess social conditions under the program. Maldives Marketing and Public Relations Corporation MMPRC announces its official endorsement of a 4-city roadshow in India hosted by Tata by Maldives, a destination management company, DMC, operating in the Maldives. This exclusive invitation-only event is one of the largest Maldives roadshows ever held in India, marketed by a DMC, featuring the participation of 22 renowned Maldivian properties. The roadshow is taking place across 4 major Indian cities from 12th to 16th May, including Cochin, Coimbatore, Hyderabad and Bangalore. Each event welcomes over 100 carefully selected travel agents, offering them an opportunity to engage directly with representatives from some of the most prestigious resorts in the Maldives, MMPRC said. The primary objective of the roadshow is to spotlight the Maldives as a leading destination for luxury, romance, and experiential travel. The event is a strategic platform to enhance trade relations and support outbound travel from India to the Maldives, with a particular focus on the luxury, weddings, leisure, and MICE travel segments. Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of MMPRC, Ibrahim Shuri, expressed pleasure in supporting this extensive initiative by Tata by Maldives to further connect with travel trade professionals across key Indian cities. Tata by Maldives has built a solid reputation over the past decade as one of South India's top wholesale operators for Maldivian resorts. With direct contracts with over 150 properties in the Maldives and a presence in both Indian and Middle Eastern markets, the company is a key player in the region's travel landscape. As of 11th May, India ranks as the sixth largest source market to the Maldives, contributing 46,953 tourist arrivals, which represents 5.3% of the total visitors so far this year. MMPRC has conducted several high-profile activities aimed at the Indian market this year, including an impactful partnership with the Mumbai Indians, India's most successful cricket franchise, as the official tourist destination partner for the 2025 season. In business, we have Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi says China and Latin American countries will strengthen the alignment of development strategies and deepen cooperation during a joint briefing with his Colombian and Honduran counterparts.
Wang said China will import more high-quality products from Latin America, encourage Chinese enterprises to expand investment in the region, and provide 66 billion yuan or $9.18 billion in credit financing to Latin American countries. The joint briefing was held after the China CELAC Forum kicked off in Beijing on Tuesday, with Chinese President Xi Jinping meeting leaders from Latin America and Caribbean nations. The China CELAC Forum challenges long-standing American geopolitical and economic dominance in the region, which the Trump administration has sought to counter, and takes place after a weekend of high-stakes trade talks between the U.S. and China that ended on a positive note.
U.S. President Donald Trump boards his flight from King Khalid International Airport in Riyadh, heading to the Qatari capital Doha, where he will participate in a state visit with officials.
A key U.S. ally is expected to announce hundreds of billions of dollars in investments in the U.S. Trump's visit to Doha was to follow the White House's announcement this week that it plans to accept a Boeing 747-8 plane, which would be outfitted to serve as Air Force One, as a gift from the Qataris. The luxury plane, which would be one of the most valuable gifts ever received by the U.S. government, would eventually be donated to Trump's presidential library. It sparked outrage from Democrats and bipartisan security concerns. Some officials have said it could create a perception of corruption, even absent a quid pro quo. While the precise details of the investments Qatar plans to announce on Wednesday were unclear, Qatar Airways was expected to announce a deal to buy around 100 wide-body jets from Boeing, according to a source familiar with the matter. Following his visit to Qatar, Trump will fly to Abu Dhabi to meet the UAE's leaders on the 15th of May. He is then slated to fly back to Washington on the 16th of May, but he has said he could fly to Turkey instead for a potential meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
Charles Gilgeous-Alexander finishes with 31 points as the Oklahoma City Thunder rallied late for a 112-105 home win over the Denver Nuggets in Game 5 of the Western Conference semifinals.
Down by 9 with 8.5 minutes to go, the Thunder wound up outscoring the Nuggets 34-19 in the fourth quarter to take a 3-2 lead in the best-of-7 series. Oklahoma City, which overcame a monster game from Nuggets center Nikola Jokic, 44 points, 15 rebounds, would advance to the Western Conference Finals with a win on Thursday in Denver. In the closing stages, Oklahoma City turned up the heat on defense and LeGuence Dort got hot from beyond the arc. While Denver went more than 7 minutes without a field goal, missing 9 consecutive shots and turning the ball over twice, Dort hit a trio of three-pointers to help the Thunder pull close. Oklahoma City tied it with 92-92 with 5 minutes and 42 seconds remaining on Jalen Williams' 2 free throws. A minute later, Dort chased down Gilgeous-Alexander's missed three-pointer, batting it to Williams, who found Chet Holmgren for a layup that leveled the score to 94-94. The Nuggets didn't score from the field until Jokic's putback with just more than 3 minutes remaining tied the game 98-98. While Jokic hit shots on 3 consecutive Denver possessions to keep the Nuggets in it, the Thunder proved to be too much. After Jokic tied it by sinking a fadeaway three-pointer with 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining, Williams quickly answered with a three-pointer, Gilgeous-Alexander hit another tray on the next possession, and the Thunder finished the game off at the free throw line. Over the past 2 games, Oklahoma City outscored Denver 63-37 in the fourth quarter. The Nuggets used just 8 players, with 3 playing more than 40 minutes. No Thunder player went 40 minutes, prompting a question to Denver interim coach David Adelman about whether his team ran out of gas late. Jokic had struggled the previous 3 games, but he was excellent on Tuesday, adding 5 assists and just 2 turnovers. Jokic shot 17 of 25 from the field and 5 of 7 from beyond the arc. Jamal Murray added 28 points for the Nuggets. The Thunder had 6 players score a dozen or more points, with Williams putting up 18 and Isaiah Hartenstein 15. Williams grabbed a team-high 9 rebounds and Gilgeous-Alexander dished out a game-high 7 assists. While the late stretch stood out for the Thunder, Oklahoma City's close to the first half was important as well. The Thunder finished out the first half with 9 consecutive points to cut what was an 11-point deficit or 2.
Finland returns a 17th century ceremonial stool looted by French colonizers and later transferred to Finland to Benin, marking a significant step in the restitution of cultural heritage, according to Beninese and Finnish authorities.
Stool, known as a katakle, was a 3-legged royal chair used as a portable noble seat for the king of the Dahomey Kingdom, which is now modern-day Benin. In 1892, French colonizers looted 27 artifacts from the royal palace of the Dahomey Kingdom, including 2 katakles, which were then transferred to the Ethnographic Museum of the Trocadero in Paris.
Finland gives a great importance to the protection of cultural heritage and property. The return of the katakle stool follows the principles of UNESCO 1970 Convention as well as other international conventions and recommendations on cultural heritage. Finland is strongly committed to promoting cultural rights, cultural property, and the diversity of cultural expressions. The process for returning the royal katakle stool back to the Benin is an example of the power of modern, rightful cultural policy.
One of the katakles later went missing but was eventually traced to a 1939 museum exchange between Paris and Finland's National Museum. In November 2024, Benin formally requested the return of the katakle from Helsinki.
And that's all we have for this hour. Thank you for watching. Wish you all a very pleasant time ahead.